Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Great to be here with you on this Friday review. Excited to dive right into our product review of the week. Coming in just a moment. A lot of people asking my feedback on the Bioresonance Epigenetic Hair Scans versus a hair tissue mineral analysis or a HTMA or minerals and metals test, which is very different, two totally different tests. Sometimes people confuse them. I'll give you my feedback today on that. I've got a book that I would love to bring you here today. It's probably a good 20 years old. Yeah, it's about 21, 22 years old. I want to share an overall philosophy. Sometimes I believe the older the book, the better. And I'll share with you why sometimes that is. And then I'll go over two research studies, one on artificial intelligence and how it's already helping physicians and doctors to become better doctors. Of course, ethically, whenever we talk about AI. And then I want to bring you what I find to be an amazing research. You hear me kind of fumbling around with all my research notes here. Really great study on how much vitamin D should be used for anybody with blood sugar dysregularity. So I'm going to go over all that and much more. Before we get to that, let's go over the updates from inside of the private practice. I always love to be able to give you an update after the fact. And so last week, I was doing my fall functional medicine detox every single quarter, literally every 12 weeks. I highly recommend a 7-day functional medicine detox. If you haven't done one before, then I recommend a 21-day, and then you can just do quarterly after that with just 7 days. It's the number one that you think that you can do for your overall health, wellness, anti-aging, longevity, hormone balance, inflammation, and so much more, because what does it do? It simply sets the stage. It empties that rain barrel and enables you to be much healthier in all facets of the body. And the reason is that your body's dealing with less of a total toxic load. It gives the liver, the kidneys, the nutrients they need in order to be able to detox the body to a much faster and greater degree. That's the bottom line. I have a free course on it. You can take it at stephencabral.com/courses. Head right over. Literally, it's a free course. I would definitely learn more about what a functional medicine detox is. Literally, there's nothing to purchase. You can take the course completely free, and then you can go with any company you want that you feel would give you the best functional medicine detox. Of course, I formulate for EquiLife. That's what I've been using in my practice for many, many years, but the decision is always yours. Okay. That went incredibly well, and I'm very happy about that because, and I will be sharing that as I go through it, I will be doing my first longer fast, which I haven't done in over a decade. So I remember this because it was before my oldest daughter was born. And so now she's 11. So I know it was before that. It was about a year or two before that. And I did a longer intermittent fast. I was away for a whole week at a health-based functional medicine conference, and I decided to do one then. This time it's going to be a much longer one. I'll see somewhat how my body feels as I move through it, but I'll be sharing that with you, and that won't come though until after the live event, after the Reimagining Health Summit event in October. So that's that, and I know we have people literally from all over the world coming, over 300 people. I would love for you to be there with us, essentially going through 16 high-level talks on the future of health and really what you can do right now. And amazing exhibitors. I think we have around 20 different exhibitors, all sorts of the high-tech PMF, red light, sauna, acoustic-based beds. What else do we have? IV-based therapies, best mold testing companies, like the best in the world at all of these things. So definitely check that out. You can find it at the Reimagining Health Summit.com. All right, what's going on over at EquiLife? I want to share this with you before we get into our recap for the week, and that is the free frother over at EquiLife. If you're someone that likes to make nut milk lattes or matcha lattes, or you just grab your daily nutritional support powder, protein powder, daily fruit and vegetable blend on the go, and you just want to mix it up easily, the free frother, it's free, is literally the way to go. So this is a double whisk, so it can create more froth if that's exactly what you like. It's 3 speeds. No batteries required. It's an easy USB charger, and it actually comes in 2 pieces, so it's simple to travel with. Definitely recommend it. You can get yours completely free while supplies last on qualifying orders over at stevencabral.com/shop this week. Definitely check that out. All right, podcast recap for the week. Why, this was Monday's show, why achieving your biggest goal is inevitable. And I love this show for so many reasons, but I just truly believe that if you have a goal that's important to you, it's not a matter of if it will happen, but simply a matter of when. Check out that show for all the details. That was episode 2782. Episode 2783 was What's Healthier? Chocolate, meaning dark chocolate, versus coffee. I think you'll find this interesting. I give you all the data between nutrition versus antioxidant versus BDNF for the brain, and on all different layers, you can find out who or what the winner was. On Wednesday's show, new legal testosterone boosting supplements, whether you should use them or not, whether they're safe or not, and if there's anything even better. So definitely check that out. And then yesterday's show was the Peter Pan theory on longevity. So how to basically compress morbidity, what that even means, how to live longer and healthier for as long as we can. So definitely check that out. That is our recap for the week. All those podcasts are at stevencabral.com/podcasts. All right. Product review of this week. And again, people have been asking me for quite some time, what do you think about the Bioresonance Hair Scan machines? Now, what this is this. Typically, it's 4 strands of hair, and you pluck them from your head instead of cut them. Okay, so this is for the hair scans. Again, obviously, what I would say is the hair tissue mineral analysis is different. You're cutting here, and what you're doing is you're actually sending it to the lab. They burn it to an ash. They've been doing this now for well over 40 years. And FBI uses it, NASA uses it, all these companies use it, and they just look at the level of minerals and they look at your heavy metals. Like that actually comes from your hair. Okay, great. Well, with the bioresonance scan, what they do is they take the bulb. So they're actually looking for the bulb of the hair, and then they're running it through a specific machine that is customizing a plan for you based on what is going on inside of your body. It's a 30+ page report. It reports on 800 different nutritional and environmental based markers. It comes from a German-based company that does epigenetic mapping services, and it goes right to the practitioner's based computer. So again, people have asked me like, what do you think about it? It gives you an immunity report, a well-being report, a nutrition report, a sports and fitness report, and all these different things. So I looked into it. I really did a deep dive. I'm looking at their S-Drive technology, looking at what they're using it for, their juicing plans, like all these different things. What I can say is this: they can offer you some really healthy things to do. There's no doubt about it. But then when I actually look at how does this scan work, and what I look for, and I just want you to share this with you, I look for repeatability. What does that mean? Well, it's the gold standard. It means that if I send in this lab today, and because this is what I do for lab testing, and I send in the same lab the same exact day under a different person's name, I need to be able to get the same results. And so whenever I'm testing out a new lab, what I do is I buy 2, and then I take it and I take them both at the same time. Now, if there's a blood work comparison, then I'll often do it against blood work. And that's why I have not recommended yet the at-home cholesterol-based tests, because I'm not there yet with their standards of testing. And unfortunately, and again, I'm not here to say any practitioner is doing the wrong thing by their clients. I am not saying that, okay? What I did was I actually looked at the company, contacted the company, looked at their FAQs. I want to share this with you, okay? This is directly from the company. So, is this report a treatment plan for any illness? No, the report is not intended for the treatment cure of any illness. Totally understand that part. Great. Okay, so it's saying now, what are you measuring? The system is not a measurement, as it does not have a scale by which data can be compared. Through the process of resonance, we determine the relevancy of an item by the ability of the system to detect resonance within the digital sample and reflect this in the size of the chart segment. Okay, so first of all, they're not basing it on actual data from inside of the hair, but rather their S-scan technology. Okay, what is resonance? When 2 systems have frequencies which are comparable, they come into resonance. When the opera singer hits a note which resonates with the glass, it is able to absorb the energy from that note until so much is stored that the glass shatters. Okay, well, what do they mean by that? It means that and they have a particular resonance of a disease, they could say, does this particular hair bulb have the same resonance? Okay. This is a particular resonance of a parasite. Does this person have a parasite? Well, let's go to that. So my report says I have parasites. Can you prove it? The report does not confirm the presence of parasites. It says, but although we carry them, all of us carry them, but only the resonance indication that could be a predisposition to parasites and eating the right foods, which may help with this. Okay, so it tells you on the report if you have parasites or not, yet it's saying that it cannot confirm the presence of parasites, but it's saying that everybody has them, so you might as well do a parasite-based protocol. Okay, understand, like I get it. And then it says, why do I need a follow-up report? Surely they will be the same. At a pure epigenetic level, the body is homeodynamic, which means constantly adapting the environment in a nonlinear way. As we change jobs, or as we age, eat differently, get married, have kids, the body changes, and so do the needs. Here's the thing though, if you run this and your body is different tomorrow, you could get a different result tomorrow. Even though if you were to run your food sensitivity, your hormones, your whatever, you should get a pretty replicable result even the next day. Now, I do agree, cortisol could be different, hormones could be a little bit different the next day, that's true. But major things like food sensitivities and heavy metals in the hair, those types of things can't. All right, here's the last one that really threw me. And this is on their FAQ page. Are the results reproducible? Not in the short term, as the epigenetic information that is mapped reflects the underlying energy status of the body, which never adopts the same state twice. It is homeodynamic in nature and not homeostatic, which I agree with in terms of homeodynamic and homeostatic. I agree with that. Over time, patterns of epigenetic tendencies can be seen in the reports, and you get to know factors need addressing in the long run. To me, that was it. It's like, it basically is giving an excuse of why you may never get the same result twice. I don't know. I just find that very questionable. If you're never going to get the same result twice, how do you recommend exercise, nutrition, supplement protocols, etc.? So for me, and again, I'm not throwing any shade or anything like that on any other practitioner, I cannot use this in my practice because I cannot get reproducible results with this particular lab. So that's why I don't do it. I use a minerals and metals test for hair testing, which I can get reproducible results, and I can show clients along a time horizon how they're improving. And so, yeah, I mean, that's only one. We use 30 different labs, but I cannot enter this lab into our program in good consciousness. Now, maybe that will change in the future. Just keep in mind, I keep an open mind. I could be convinced if they show me actual data and they can show me reproducibility. If it can't show me reproducibility, very difficult to change my mind from a science-based perspective on this. It's not that I don't want it to be true, it's that I don't see how it can be true quite yet. So that was my review. And now whenever people ask about the bioresonance scans, I can share this particular show with them. Again, I didn't even name the company. I'm not saying the companies are bad. I'm not saying that at all. And I honestly believe they're trying to help people. And you know what? A lot of the recommendations can be absolutely healthy. So based on whether it has any real data or not, I'm not saying it doesn't. What I'm saying is a lot of the recommendations could be good. I just wouldn't use it in my practice. All right, that's that. All right, today's book review is something I can recommend. And it's actually titled The One Book on Natural Health Every Home Should Have, A Physician's Guide to Natural Health Products That Work. And it's the second edition, and it was written by James A. Howenstein, MD, 34 years of frontline health experience. Now, it's a big book. It's 800 pages, but it's also one of those books that you don't need to read cover to cover. So whether you're a practitioner or you're just someone that enjoys natural health, it actually will go through all sorts of different studies on, let's say, things like fluoride. It will go through low thyroid and possible causes. It will go through things like chromium for blood sugar. It goes through natural cancer-based therapies. What else does it go through? It goes through selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. It goes through mast cell activation, inflammatory illnesses, high cholesterol. So it's almost like Dr. Saul's books, where it's doctor yourself. Like, it's giving you a lot of the answers in there. Would this be my end-all, be-all? No, I don't think any one book can be, but this is a really nice book to be able to keep in your home and use it as a resource guide in addition to other things that you've learned about as well. So that is that. I'm going to link it up. Again, Dr. Hauenstein and A Physician's Guide to Natural Health Products. It is an older book. It's 20 plus years. I told you why I said I would give those recommendations. I do believe that any book that stands the test of time, or 20 years or more, is a pretty solid book and recommendation. Please also keep in mind that I don't know how old this physician was. Certainly when he wrote it in the 60s. And what I would say is that years ago, and let's even go back before definitely before the 1930s, and up to like the 1950s and 60s, a lot more was allowed in terms of conventional medicine that was able to be tried in a physician's practice. Now, you go into a doctor's office, if you have high cholesterol, you're getting a statin. If you have high blood pressure, you're getting a beta blocker, or you're getting a diuretic. You're getting something to lower your blood pressure pharmaceutical-wise. Well, back in the day, they didn't use pharmaceuticals, right? And there were other methodologies. I'm not saying there's not a time and place for pharmaceutical drugs in acute-based care and life-saving conditions, but certainly we have to be doing better than what we're doing right now, right? We spend more on healthcare than any other country in the United States, and yet we're dead last in terms of the money spent per individual on healthcare and industrialized nations. So I think we can do better. And I don't think it's just nutritional supplements. I believe it is the whole de-stress protocol that I've spoken about before. All right, let's bring you a couple research studies. This one is a game changer. They're both game changers. Let me give you the one on vitamin D first, though. This was an amazing report and of course, I'll link everything up today. I'll link the book up today. I will link up the 2 research studies here today. Okay, so high dose vitamin D, that's basically what it's called, cuts diabetes risk. Okay, like that got my attention. So pre-diabetes patients who maintain high blood levels of their 25-hydroxy vitamin D, that's just basically, I can link up a lab how you can test your vitamin D levels at home, of at least 50 nanograms per milliliter, were 76% less likely to develop diabetes. I mean, that's unbelievable. I want to repeat that. So let's say you're waking up on a daily basis and your blood sugar is above 100 nanograms per deciliter, but it's below 126. So that would basically be like pre-diabetes. Okay. You might have hemoglobin A1C of maybe 5.6, getting towards 5.7, somewhere around there. Maybe your doctor says you're in the pre-diabetes range. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Just getting your vitamin D levels between a range of 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter, 76% less likely to develop diabetes. That's unbelievable. It's literally one nutritional supplement or getting sunlight. And the sunlight has to be enough to raise those levels. So, I mean, we can debate all day long if food will raise your vitamin D, if sunlight will, if you get enough sunlight. But all you have to do is you just test. Like, that's why people ask me all the time, well, what do you think about debating this individual? We can debate if you want, but it's like, for the sake of debating, I just say, like, everything I want to do in this world in terms of health should be able to be proven. Like, if I give someone a mold protocol, I can prove that it works. Parasupport protocol, a CBO protocol. I want everything to be reproducible because it's the only way that you can scale natural health. Like, that's the goal. So anyway, this helps so many people, since like 1 out of 2 people by the year 2030 is going to have diabetes. And this is going all around the world. Well, this is it. Most people, they say, should supplement between 4,000 and 600 IUs per day, which is double that of most recommendations. Like, most recommendations are 800 IUs a day. I mean, it's 400 to 800 IUs a day. It's such a small amount. And so it's keeping people maybe above the 30 nanograms per milliliter, but that doesn't mean that they're healthy. It just means that they don't develop, bone-based diseases of low vitamin D. So I'm going to link it up for you. This was published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, and vitamin D will cost you less than $1 a day, and it will help that much with your blood sugar. So yeah, I mean, I can't link up the vitamin D that we use in our practice, but honestly, you can get vitamin D3 make sure it's vitamin D3 from a reputable source. Obviously, you can find the one that you use in my practice at stephencabral.com/shop, but I would much rather you take vitamin D, whatever one you want to use, and just test your levels. Test your 25-hydroxy vitamin D. All right, last one for the day, and that is on artificial intelligence. Check this out. This was done in Hungary over to the, depending on how you look at it, to the east of the United States, our friends over in Europe. And it's the largest AI screening program for breast cancer imaging tests. At one Hungarian clinic using AI screening, the cancer detection rate increased by 13%. Basically, they found 13% more malignancies that were confirmed malignancies. I mean, that's outstanding, especially for the 13 out of 100 women that were now being able to be found, hopefully early enough where something can really be done. Here's another one. This is with Parkinson's and early stage dementia. This is a study done in Japan on about 9,000 people. And all they were asked to do was actually read a sentence out loud. And the AI machine learning was able to detect if it compared, basically what it did is compared a person's speech to that of others with early Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's. And it could notice the cadence and the subtle cognitive impairment. And because of that, it would be able to detect where they are maybe on that spectrum moving to early dementia, where again, things can be done in order to stop, halt, and reverse any of these diseases of the brain. So I find this to be extremely powerful. And also, this is just the beginning, literally just the beginning. That is why we are doing things like the Reimagining Health Summit, so we can teach these things, so we can make people aware. And if you have that, if you have this awareness, you're able to act on it, find the things early, correct them, and live a long, healthy life. That's what it's all about. So hopefully today's show was helpful. For all the details, head on over to StephenCabral.com/2786. Take care, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with our house calls on the weekend answering your questions. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at EquiLife, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquiLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.